Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarot, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we eclipse Week 2 and into Week 3 of the Rockman X collaboration with Medarot to start off the year, it looks like we've had quite a number of very eventful and very exciting bots that have joined the fray, ranging between Hunter X as the free event reward in Week 1, with Full Armor X and Baba Pride. Last week, of course, we also had Elite Zero, everyone's favorite Crimson Maverick Hunter. This week, we're going to be wrapping up the collaboration officially with everyone's favorite and well-known iconic antagonist and final boss of the entirety of the Rockman X series, Sigma himself and the source of the Sigma virus. With the inclusion of him, we also have a handful of other really exciting rewards to curb out and round out the final week of the collaboration. But I am getting ahead of myself just a little bit. It is going to be a relatively light week in terms of news or new stuff in particular, so not a whole lot of new stuff really to report on, but still very exciting all the same, with not just Sigma himself officially debuting this week, but also with a handful of other bots and a handful of other bots between Gacha and Fierce Battle that are also very much so worth farming all the same. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced starting this week with the Gacha banners. Of course, the main highlight of this week is the titular antagonist and final boss of the Rockman X series, and that is RMX-04 Fixer Sigma, with a kit of Precognition, Hyper Virus, Perfect Guard, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Confront. Now, Fixer Sigma in particular brings a couple of new things to the table. One is a brand new skill entirely, and the other one is actually a skill we've had, but the first ever instance on it not on a head part or on a meta change form, which really will change the game in terms of what kind of shielders people can bring to the fray. But with that being said, Sigma most certainly did not disappoint with having a virus skill in his kit though, as we were fully expecting and anticipating, given of course what Sigma is best known for. But to explain briefly, Hypervirus is just basically regular virus, but with some extra power and some pierce damage on top of that. Of course, much like other modes that have gotten the hyper treatment, it does also mean that he will have a no dodge and no defend on cooldown penalty once he does use that skill. And as mentioned, this is also the very first instance of Perfect Guard not being on a head part, which means that this will open a whole slew of options for possibility of defenders for anyone that does manage to snag Sigma and add him to their roster. With the addition of Fixer Sigma in terms of rerun banners this week, we have GDS-01 Artemis making a return as well, with Rebirth, Laser, Guard 300, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Super Armor. Now, for folks that are very well aware and very much so in the online meta and PvP game, Artemis is most certainly going to be a very big catch for a lot of people that have been waiting. Not just as a pure set because she's fantastic as such, but her legs alone with Super Armor make her a fantastic addition for any female teams in need of good float legs and very, very powerful ability of Super Armor. Lastly, we also have FJK-0 Leah Lila, the original base form, with a kit of Commander, Free Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Continuity. Now, much like it is with Leah 2, Leah Lila is another master in the arts of paralyzed ailments, so if you are looking for someone that is an absolute master and stealth master as such, you really don't need to look any further than everyone's favorite resident Learjet schoolgirl type that likes to game on the channel. Now, granted, even though this one is just a little bit fragile compared to the newer version Leah 2, it's still fantastic for what she brings to the table, being able to either stop enemies cold or stop them in their tracks with either thunder or ice. Now, with the Fierce Battles we have this week, it looks like we will be keeping the 5 to 6 man Fierce Battles permanently going forward, which I most certainly don't mind. But starting that lineup here on that top row, we have OWL-03 Minerova, with Laser, Free Shot, Press, float legs and the leg ability of Torturer. Next to Medarot, we have MDZ0 Meduzard with Freeze, Sword, Counter Guard, multi-legs, and the leg ability of P-Loader. And then we have GBB01 Slap Beat with Shoot Boost, Beam, Thunder Shot, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. On this bottom row, we have APL01 Top Gunner with Radar Sight, Double Missile, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Aim. HNT01 Queen Vespa with Heater Plant, Double Static, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Extra Magazine. And then last but not least, SCP-0 Poison Scorpy with Triple Melt, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of Desert Type. Now, as you see here, we have a lot of very solid models that can be farmed this coming week for the Fierce Battles, and a lot of them seem very heavily intent on ailment fighting in one form or another. Just this top row alone, Minarova, Meduzard, and Slapbeat all have Free Shot, Freeze, or Thunder Shot between the three of them. Top Gunner, maybe not so much, Queen Vespa not so much either, and Poison Scorpion for DOTs with the Melt attribute on all three of his attacks. So lots of very powerful skills that can be found all the same, and you really can't go wrong with farming any of them for this same reason. But if I did have to find an MVP of the week for these 6, I did have to kind of file it down to 2, because of particular reasons they can be very useful. The first of which is Minarova, primarily for the fact that as the first free shot user in the game, she's very easy to collect and relatively easy to raise early on. So if you need someone that can buy you a few extra precious seconds of time and guarantee that the next hits land and crit on top of that as a setup, you really don't need to look any further than Minarova. In addition, Queen Vespa I would also have to list as an MVP of the week, primarily for the use of Static. Now, for those that are out of the loop, Static is a very unique attack skill that, upon attacking the target, will immediately cut 50% of the remaining HP of that part, no matter what. So it does not require you to fully raise the part, does not require you to have a certain rarity or rank, it's always going to be 50% no matter what. Much akin to, say, Super Fang in Pokemon. So this can be a very good skill that you can collect early on and make use of, especially for cutting down a lot of very bulky enemy armor or even any shields that are in play. Or in the case of, say, like a meta change bot, this can be absolutely catastrophic for them too, and give you that edge in the competition you need to keep one step above the rest. Now, at the events and such this week, of course, we will be cresting into wave 3 of the collaboration with just one more round of rewards. But this time around, maybe not as many as we were able to collect in previous weeks. This week, we have the opportunity to earn the Mandrill Medal, which has a mastery in melee, support, and defense, and leg masteries in biped, flight, and sea. We can also earn one last commemorative profile banner featuring Fixer Sigma himself, 2 additional BGMs featuring Sigma Stage 3 and 4 from the original Rockman X, and then of course we can also earn more NFRPS chips and other resources such as rubies, chips in general, and even Cyplasium to a degree depending on how far we go. So, it looks like we're going to definitely be ending this event on a very big note with not as many limited time rewards, I guess you can call it, but still going to end it on a very exciting note on all the same. Now, the event itself will be milestone-based, much like it was with the first event, so pure sets across the board are going to be encouraged as you build your teams. As you see here, the primary bonuses will give for Artemis, God Emperor, and Leolila will give you a 10% bonus per part. The Tomoe, Protomusha, and Ares, which are the online PvP highlighted bots for this month, I will get to that in a moment, will give you a 9% bonus per part, and the Fierce Battles will give you a 6% bonus per part each. For Metarotters, of course, 15% bonus for the SR versions of Koishimaru, Kazumi, Azuma, and Tenma in particular, 10% bonus for the R rank versions, and 5% for the N rank respectively. For the specialized bonuses, you can earn a 6% bonus for any of the 4 gacha-based models from the collaboration, and a 4% bonus per part for Hunter X specifically. So, if you have not managed to collect any of the gacha models thus far, either from bad luck or just not quite piquing your interest, Hunter X will still be there to give you just a little bit more of a bonus so that you can keep something going in the game. The rest of the bonuses, though, I really don't see too terribly difficult, primarily for the reason that, say, God Emperor in particular of the batch has stuck around arguably the longest of all of them, primarily because he also got the tune-up treatment, so more than likely at least a couple people have probably collected him over the course of this collaboration. And the other ones, the Marauders, they're all permanently available. There is no limited time one, so you more than likely may have collected at least one of these as well as time progressed and you made attempts in those banners. Now, the other really big thing with this event, to really close it off on an exciting note, is the fact that it will also be featuring the boss fight mechanic, which means after every handful of wins, you have a chance to unlock a boss fight encounter. And of course, you can stack those encounters, and it'll basically just keep feeding into a counter until you get one. But those also feature completely different bonuses. For the boss fight bonuses, of course, Fixer Sigma will give you a 15% bonus per part. Vava Pride, Elite Zero, and Full Armor X will give you a 12% bonus each, and Hunter X at a 10% bonus per part. And of course, with the Marauders, of course, and very obviously, the collab Marauders, Anise and Kirara, will give you a 15% bonus per part, and SR rank Salt will also give you a 10% bonus. Whereas the 5% bonus for R rank of Anise or Salt, and 3% for the N ranks respectively. So like I said, even if you have not collected all the models, or maybe even just one or two, the fact that Hunter X is here will mean that you'll have a pretty fair time at least being able to stockpile some points, as some points are better than no points to collect and capitalize on a lot of those rarer or harder to find rewards, such as the BGMs or even the Mandra medal on top of that. Some other last minute stuff to add with the collaboration as well. We do also have a second round of the collab Super Invasions going live this week as well, featuring of course Vava Pride and Fixer Sigma himself. Very good chance that this will have the same rule set as the first one, where it'll be double overclocked enemy medals, and very minimal, if any, kind of modifiers. So make sure that you do go in and participate in that before the collaboration ends to collect your limited time rewards and the profile banner as you see here, featuring Sigma and Vile themselves, so that you can take this away from the collaboration as another reward and souvenir. In addition to the Super Invasion, we do also have one last round of event missions. Now, if you've been participating in the event thus far, this is honestly stupidly easy for you. Complete the mission, complete the event, participate in it, complete boss fights, go attempt the Super Invasion and complete it. All super easy stuff. You can have all this done in a day if you just kept on top of it. And basically what it'll allow you to earn are a lot more ruby shards for your emergency stock, as well as some limited time gacha tickets to use for limited time models that were highlighted over the course of the collab. Of course, featuring models like Artemis, Leolila, and Rafault, and others, and so on, thrown in there as chances that you can obtain alongside the basic pool. So do make sure that you complete this as well before the event ends, so you can enjoy and capitalize on those rewards. One last thing with events, with game-based stuff, is that, as I mentioned, we do finally have our first look at the month of March online PvP skins, this time highlighting Tomoe, Protomusha, and Ares specifically. In particular, this week we have the opportunity to earn Hina-style Tomoe or Protomusha, and a Hina Arare Ares. So very nice skins in particular, and I really like the simplicity of these designs. And just as a friendly reminder, skins also stack with color chips, so if maybe the color isn't quite your thing, that's very easy to fix once you have the part. Slap a paint chip on there, and you can basically go hand with anything that you're looking for. So again, in order to collect these, you do have to participate in online PvP, or if you're like me and don't really care for it all that much, you can of course pay rubies to get the completion for that. Like I said, not much of a PvPer, but just a heads up on that, you are able to do it. One other minor note to mention as well on topic of PvP is our official Project Rising Beetle online tourney is officially underway in our server. If you'd like to know more on that, we do have a pinned comment and a rule set in the server as well for you to read and peruse, so that you can check it out and see how it goes. I am excited to see just how this first wave of that will go. I am expecting a bunch of bugs and errors and loopholes to be found, so I am looking forward to trying to see how well this one behaves, and just kind of see if there's anything that we could do to make a version 1.2 rule set to kind of iron things out and try again with another one. On the topic of community-based stuff as well, we are always looking for translators to assist us with any of our translation endeavors. Right now, Medarot 3 is still tentatively completed and still in that bug testing and grammar checking phase. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, or Japanese, or if you know somebody that might be interested with time on their hands, definitely reach out to us, and we're more than happy to reach out to you and help you fill you in on what needs done. Same can be said for Medarot 4, Medarot 5, Navi, and even the Reloaded manga, which has been getting a lot of interest as well recently. We would love to see it done, but we need manpower to do so. So again, if you are knowledgeable in anything, or if you know somebody that might be, send them our way, hop on our Discord in the link provided below, and we're more than happy to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. For the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, this is honestly one of my favorite segments here because I love giving artists in the community a shout out and kind of highlighting some of the stuff that they do over the course of week or even previous weeks that they decide to repost and bring back up again. This one here by Pikugatu, a good friend of mine, decided to highlight everyone's favorite Emerald Valkyrie type Noelle from the days of Medarot Navi, and there are a number of Noelle fans among the Western Medarot community, so this piece was most certainly very well accepted for that. And this piece here by Twitter user TypeCKW, anyone who's been in the community for at least a couple months knows CKW's handle and the absolutely fantastic art that they bring on their pages and anywhere that they decide to share or anyone decides to share on their behalf. This piece here by everyone's favorite Ronin Rokusho himself, featuring a cape and a tribal spear. I love the detail and the shading that goes into CKW's type of art as well. And it's honestly very easily wallpaper worthy in a lot of cases because of the type of format that he chooses to put them in. So definitely give both of these users and others a follow if you'd like to see more of their fantastic art in your feed as you scroll through your Twitter on the daily. One final note before I wrap up, just as a friendly reminder, I am always open for commission for any art-based 2D or 3D across the board. I can do live 2D models ready to rig, as you see here by my own personal model and a Dear Buddies Bionicle OC that I did as a testing ground and practice. I can do traditional 2D art, transparent background, and varying levels of detail. I can do emotes. I can also do 3D models, ranging between standard props to full models, straight from the ground up, fully rigged, optimized, and textured, ready to go. And we are most certainly able to make something happen. So if you are interested in that, definitely reach out to me on Twitter or Discord and we can most certainly try to make something happen, coordinate a price and a turnover time, and I can get started on that at the soonest convenience. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode. So like I said, not a whole lot of new stuff really to cover, since most of the stuff with the collaboration has already been hinted on at the start of week 1, or very similarly through the course of these previous weeks. But with all that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on there as well. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below if you want to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art links, my weekly episodes, contests, or anything else of the like. The Discord's the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else across the net. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at Isagamikura if you have any questions, feedback, comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello, or if you'd like to commission me, I leave my DMs open on purpose for that very reason. In addition, if you are a streamer, VTuber, YouTuber, or content creator of any kind on any platform and would love to collaborate with me sometime, whether that means having you here on my channel at the MNN, of which there is always an open seat for a guest host, or if you'd like to have me stop in on your channel for a friendly chat or a game, I would love to coordinate with you. So definitely reach out to me in those DMs as well, and we can most certainly coordinate some schedules and make something happen. Lastly, do give these other wonderful friends of mine a follow in the Twitter community as well for Medarot. My dear friend Mo and CHSci on Twitter, who hosts and runs the unofficial fan page on Twitter, who, much like me, also stays in the know with anything related officially to Medarot. That's not just Medarot S stuff in particular, but also anything official around the brand itself, fan art that's shared, or even art themselves that they've done. Wonderful work across the board, and I always will recommend Moen as a very dear friend of mine for folks that want to get in the know, but stay up close in the native country of Japan. And also my friend EXE Co, who hosts both on Twitter and on YouTube a lot of Let's Plays, primarily of Medarot games, but sometimes of other stuff as well. And I always want to try to give a shout out to dear friends of mine in the content creating community as well, because if I shout someone out, they shout me out, and we always help each other out. We always help each other out across the board. because this isn't just a one-man show. This isn't just a game of one, an island of one. We all help each other out in one form or another, with the collabs, with shouting out or talking about them or sharing them. That's how the world goes round in the world of content creation, and I always want to try to do my part and at least spread word to help keep everyone else in the know about these wonderful people. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami on the Medarot News Network, signing out.